Hey guys, welcome back. Tonight, we will be exploring one of the most beautiful yet deadly scenarios imaginable. What would happen if you found yourself stranded on a planet made entirely of diamond? You might think that being surrounded by the hardest natural substance known to humanity would be like winning the cosmic lottery. But as you're about to discover, this crystalline world would become your glittering tomb faster than you could imagine. We'll dive deep into the physics, chemistry, and sheer impossibility of human survival on such a world, taking you through every agonizing detail of what your final hours would look like on this magnificent death trap. If you like the content and want to support the channel, be sure to subscribe. You open your eyes to find yourself lying on what appears to be the most spectacular surface you've ever seen. The ground beneath you sparkles with an intensity that makes you squint. Even though you're not looking directly at any obvious light source, you push yourself up onto your elbows, and immediately you feel something wrong. The surface you're lying on isn't just hard, it's impossibly hard. Every small movement sends sharp pains through your body as microscopic diamond fragments press into your skin through whatever clothing you're wearing. You stand up slowly, your legs shaking not just from disorientation, but from the peculiar way sound behaves around you. Every footstep creates a strange, almost musical chiming sound that echoes far longer than it should. The acoustics of this place are unlike anything you've ever experienced. Sound waves bounce off the crystalline surfaces in ways that create an eerie, almost supernatural audio landscape. You call out hello, and your voice comes back to you, distorted, multiplied, creating harmonics that make you feel like you're standing inside a massive crystal cathedral. Looking around, you realize you're standing on what can only be described as an endless plain of pure diamond. The surface stretches to the horizon in every direction, a seemingly infinite expanse of crystalline perfection that catches and refracts light in ways that create rainbow patterns dancing across your field of vision. You shield your eyes with your hand and try to make sense of where this light is coming from. Above you, you see what appears to be a sun, but something about it seems different. The light reaching you feels harsh and unforgiving, and you quickly realize why. You're experiencing the brutal reality of how diamond interacts with light. Unlike Earth's varied surfaces that absorb much of the solar radiation, this diamond world reflects and refracts light with terrifying efficiency. Every photon that hits the surface around you bounces back, creating a feedback loop of illumination that's slowly cooking you alive. You feel the heat building on your skin, and you haven't even been here for 5 minutes yet. You take a tentative step forward, and immediately you understand another horrifying aspect of this world. Diamond, despite being the hardest natural material, has absolutely no give to it. When you walk on Earth, every surface has some degree of compression. Soil compresses, wood flexes, even concrete has microscopic give that helps absorb the impact of your steps. Here, every footfall sends the full force of impact directly back up through your legs. You feel the jarring sensation in your knees, your hips, your spine. Each step is like walking on a surface that's actively trying to break your bones. You try to find a more comfortable way to move, maybe by shuffling or taking smaller steps, but nothing helps. The diamond surface offers no relief, no cushioning, no mercy. You realize that just the act of walking on this world is slowly destroying your joints and bones with each movement you make. The temperature is rising rapidly around you. You can feel sweat beginning to form on your skin. But something strange happens to it. Instead of evaporating normally, the sweat seems to vanish almost instantly. You're experiencing the effects of this world's unique atmospheric conditions. If this planet even has an atmosphere, it's likely thin and unable to support normal evaporation processes that would help cool your body. You look up again at the alien sun and squint against its harsh light. The star illuminating this diamond world burns with an intensity that seems wrong somehow. You realize that you're probably not in Earth's solar system anymore. This could be a planet, orbiting a different type of star. Perhaps one that burns hotter or emits different wavelengths of light. The diamond surface below you absorbs certain wavelengths while reflecting others, creating a complex interplay of radiation that's slowly baking you from all directions. You decide to explore, hoping to find some kind of shelter or relief from the growing heat. As you walk, you notice that the diamond plane isn't perfectly smooth. There are formations rising from the surface, structures that look like massive crystal growths, some reaching hundreds of feet into the air. You make your way toward the nearest formation, hoping it might provide some shade. The walk is torturous. Each step sends shockwaves through your body, and you can feel your joints beginning to ache in ways you've never experienced. The diamond surface is covered in what appears to be diamond dust, tiny particles that have been worn away over eons by whatever weather patterns exist on this world. With every step, you kick up small clouds of this dust, and you quickly realize you're breathing it in. You feel the diamond particles entering your lungs with each breath. Unlike sand or normal dust, diamond particles are incredibly sharp and hard. They don't break down or dissolve in your respiratory system. Instead, they lodge in your lung tissue like tiny knives, causing immediate irritation. You begin to cough, and you notice that each cough produces tiny specks of blood. The diamond dust is literally shredding your lungs from the inside. You try to cover your mouth and nose with your shirt, but the fabric offers little protection against particles this fine and persistent. The dust is everywhere, stirred up by the strange winds that sweep across this crystalline landscape. You realize that every breath you take is doing permanent damage to your respiratory system. Finally, you reach the base of the crystal formation you've been walking toward. Close. It's even more magnificent and terrifying than you imagined. The structure towers above you. A twisted spire of pure diamond catches the light and throws it in every direction. You look for an overhang or cave that might provide shelter, but the formation offers no such refuge. Crystal growth is solid diamond all the way through, with no pockets or caves that might shield you from the killing light and heat. You lean against the crystal formation, hoping for just a moment of rest, but immediately regret the decision. The diamond surface has been absorbing and concentrating heat from the alien sun, and it's now hot enough to burn you through your clothing. You jump back with a yelp of pain, realizing that you've just suffered first-degree burns from simply touching the crystal. You look at your hands and see that they're already showing signs of severe damage. The palms are cut and scraped from contact with the abrasive diamond surface, and now they're burned from touching the heated crystal. You realize that in this environment, even the simplest actions become dangerous. There's nowhere safe to touch, nowhere safe to rest, nowhere safe to seek shelter. The heat is becoming unbearable. You estimate that you've been on this world for maybe 30 minutes, and already you're experiencing the early stages of heat exhaustion. Your body is working overtime to try to cool itself, but the reflected light from the diamond surface is heating you from all directions. It's like being inside an oven made of mirrors, where every surface reflects and concentrates thermal energy back at you. You feel dizzy and nauseous. Your heart is racing as your cardiovascular system struggles to cope with the extreme heat stress. You know that you need to find water soon, but looking around at this crystalline wasteland, you see no signs of any liquid anywhere. Even if water existed on this world, it would likely be superheated by the same thermal effects that are cooking you alive. You try to think logically about your situation. Diamond is pure carbon, arranged in a crystal lattice structure. This means the entire planet is essentially one massive gemstone. But gemstones don't support life. There's no soil for plants to grow in. No organic matter to support any kind of ecosystem. You're stranded on a world that is beautiful beyond imagination, but completely sterile and lifeless. The realization hits you that there's probably no oxygen on this world either. Whatever you're breathing must be coming from some kind of artificial atmosphere, perhaps trapped in pockets or maintained by some unknown mechanism. But you can feel that even the air itself is wrong. Each breath feels thin and unsatisfying. And you're having to work harder to get the oxygen your body needs. You notice that your vision is starting to blur slightly around the edges. This could be from heat exhaustion, oxygen deprivation, or the effects of breathing diamond dust. But regardless of the cause, you know it's a bad sign. You're probably experiencing the early stages of multiple organ system failures, and you've only been here for less than an hour. You decide to keep moving, thinking that maybe if you can find a different area of this world, conditions might be more favorable. As you walk, you notice that the diamond plane isn't perfectly flat. There are subtle undulations and variations in the surface, creating hills and valleys in the crystalline landscape. You head toward what looks like a depression, hoping it might offer some protection from the wind and the reflected light. The journey to the depression is agonizing. Your feet are beginning to blister inside your shoes from the heat and the constant jarring impact of walking on the unforgiving diamond surface. Every step is becoming more painful than the last, and you're leaving tiny spots of blood behind you, where the sharp crystal fragments have cut through your shoes and into your feet. You finally reach the depression, discover that it's like a crater made entirely of diamond. The walls of the crater are smooth and steep, descending perhaps 50 feet below the level of the plain. You carefully make your way down into the crater, using your hands to steady yourself against the walls. The diamond surface is so slippery that you nearly lose your footing several times, and each time you grab for support, you cut your hands on the sharp crystal edges. At the bottom of the crater, you discover something that gives you a momentary surge of hope. There appears to be a pool of some kind of liquid. You rush toward it, desperate for water, but as you get closer, you realize that this isn't water at all. The liquid is thick and viscous, with an oily rainbow sheen on its surface. It might be some kind of hydrocarbon that has collected in this low point, or it could be something else entirely. You kneel beside the pool and tentatively dip your finger into the liquid. It feels warm and slippery. Definitely not water. The smell is strange and chemical, unlike anything you've encountered on Earth. You realize that drinking this substance would probably kill you faster than dying of thirst, so you reluctantly back away from the pool. The crater walls rise around you like a crystalline amphitheater. But instead of providing relief from the heat, they seem to concentrate it. The smooth diamond surfaces are reflecting and focusing the thermal radiation, turning the crater into a natural oven. You can feel the temperature rising even higher than it was on the surface above. You look up at the rim of the crater and realize you might have made a terrible mistake. The walls are steep and smooth, with no handholds or footholds that would allow you to climb back out. The diamond surface offers no grip, and any attempt to climb would likely result in you sliding back down and potentially injuring yourself severely on the sharp crystal edges. Panic begins to set in as you realize you might be trapped in this crystalline death trap. You circle the perimeter of the crater, looking for any weakness in the walls, any area where you might be able to climb out. But the diamond surface is uniformly smooth and unforgiving. You're beginning to understand that this crater might become your grave. You try shouting for help, even though you know there's nobody around to hear you. Your voice echoes off the crystal walls, creating strange harmonics and reverberations that make your calls for help sound alien and distorted. The acoustic properties of the diamond crater amplify and modify your voice in ways that are both beautiful and terrifying. The heat in the crater is becoming unbearable. You estimate that the temperature has risen to well over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's still climbing. Your clothes are soaked with sweat, but the sweat evaporates so quickly in the dry, superheated air that it provides no cooling effect. You can feel your core body temperature rising, and you know that hyperthermia is setting in. You try to find the coolest spot in the crater, but everywhere you go, the diamond walls are radiating heat like massive thermal batteries. The alien sun above continues to pour energy into this crystalline world, and every surface absorbs and reflects that energy in ways that create a hellish thermal environment. Your breathing is becoming more labored, both from the heat and from the diamond dust that continues to accumulate in your lungs. Each breath is a struggle, and you can taste blood in your mouth from the internal damage being caused by the microscopic crystal particles. You realize that even if you somehow escape the heat, the diamond dust will probably kill you slowly over the coming hours or days. You sit down on the crater floor, trying to conserve energy. But the diamond surface is so hot that it burns you through your clothing. You jump back up immediately, realizing that there's literally nowhere safe to rest in this environment. Standing, sitting, lying down, every position exposes you to some form of damage or discomfort. You look around desperately for anything that might help you survive. Could you use your clothing to create some kind of shade or protection? You try holding your shirt above your head like a makeshift canopy, but the fabric provides almost no relief from the omnidirectional thermal radiation bouncing off the crystal surfaces all around you. You notice that your skin is already showing signs of severe sunburn, despite the fact that you haven't been directly exposed to the alien sun for very long. The reflected and refracted light from the diamond surfaces is hitting you from every angle, creating a full-body sunburn that's developing at an accelerated rate. Your exposed skin is red and tender, and you can feel it tightening as it burns. The pain from your various injuries is becoming overwhelming. Your feet are cut and blistered, your hands are burned and lacerated, your lungs are being shredded by diamond dust. Your skin is burning from radiation exposure, and your entire body is being cooked by the relentless heat. You're experiencing multiple simultaneous medical emergencies, any one of which could be fatal on its own. You try to think of solutions, but every option seems hopeless. You can't climb out of the crater. You can't find shelter from the heat. You can't find water or food. You can't even breathe safely. The diamond world that initially seemed so beautiful has revealed itself to be a perfectly designed death trap for any form of organic life. You begin to feel lightheaded and disoriented. Your vision is becoming increasingly blurry, and you're having trouble focusing your thoughts. These are signs of severe heat stroke, and you know that you're probably entering the final stages of hyperthermia. Your body's cooling mechanisms are failing, and your core temperature is rising to levels that will soon cause irreversible damage to your vital organs. You collapse to your knees, no longer able to stand upright. The diamond surface beneath you is scorching hot, but you no longer have the strength to avoid it. You can smell your clothing beginning to smolder from the heat. You're literally being cooked alive on this crystalline world. As you lie there dying, you have a moment of bitter irony appreciation. You are surrounded by more wealth than has ever existed in human history. Literally tons of perfect diamond in every direction. But none of it can save your life. In fact, it's the very thing that's killing you. The hardest substance known to humanity, prized for its beauty and rarity, has become your executioner. You think about how diamonds are formed on Earth through intense heat and pressure deep underground over millions of years. This entire world represents geological processes beyond anything Earth has ever experienced. You're dying on a planet that must have formed under conditions so extreme that they dwarf the most violent events in Earth's history. Your heart is beating irregularly now, struggling to pump blood through your overheated body. You can feel your pulse becoming weak and thready, and you know that cardiac arrest is probably imminent. The diamond dust in your lungs is making every breath a struggle, and you're probably experiencing pulmonary edema as your respiratory system fails. You close your eyes and try to find some peace in your final moments. The sound of the wind across the crystal formations above the crater creates an otherworldly music, like nature's own crystal singing bowls. If you have to die, at least you're dying in one of the most beautiful places that has ever existed. Even if that beauty is what's killing you, you feel yourself losing consciousness as your brain begins to shut down from the extreme heat. Your last coherent thought is a question about what will happen to your body in this environment. Will it mummify in the dry heat? Will it be preserved by the sterile conditions? Or will the diamond dust eventually break it down into component atoms? As darkness closes in around you, you realize that you've experienced the ultimate irony of human desire. Throughout history, people have killed for diamonds, died for diamonds, and dreamed of finding a treasure trove of these precious gems. You found exactly that, an entire world made of diamond, and it killed you in less than 2 hours. But your story on this crystalline world might not be over. Even as your consciousness fades and your life ebbs away. How did you arrive on this diamond planet? Was it natural phenomena, alien intervention, or something else entirely? And more importantly, are you truly alone here? Or are there others somewhere on this vast crystalline world who might be facing the same desperate struggle for survival that just claimed your life? The diamond planet continues its slow rotation around its alien sun, indifferent to your fate, its crystalline surface still sparkling with deadly beauty under the harsh light of a foreign star. Your body lies motionless in the crater, just another small imperfection on the surface of this perfect, pitiless world of living gemstone. But perhaps your arrival here was just the beginning of something much larger and more mysterious than you could have imagined. But death, as you're about to discover, is not the end of your story on this crystalline world. Something extraordinary happens as your body temperature drops and your vital signs flatline. The diamond dust that you've been breathing, the microscopic crystal particles that have been shredding your lungs and entering your bloodstream, begins to interact with your dying cells in ways that defy everything science knows about biology and physics. You feel a strange tingling sensation spreading through your body, starting from your chest where the highest concentration of diamond particles has accumulated. It's impossible. You should be dead. Your brain should have shut down from oxygen deprivation and hyperthermia. But somehow, you're still aware, still conscious, experiencing sensations that shouldn't exist in a dead body. The diamond particles in your bloodstream are acting like microscopic conduits, carrying electrical impulses through your system in ways that your normal neural pathways never could. You realize that the diamond dust isn't just killing you. It's fundamentally altering the way your body processes energy and information. Carbon, the base element of diamond, is also the foundation of all organic life. And on this world, the boundary between organic and crystalline matter is becoming blurred in ways that transform the very nature of existence. You try to move and discover that your body responds, but differently than before. Your movements feel mechanical, precise, as if your muscles and bones are being reinforced and guided by the crystalline structures now integrated into your tissue. When you flex your fingers, you can feel the diamond particles in your joints creating new pathways for force transmission, making your movements stronger and more controlled than they've ever been. You stand up in the crater and immediately notice that the crushing heat that was killing you before no longer affects you the same way. The diamond particles in your bloodstream are conducting heat away from your vital organs and distributing it throughout your body in ways that prevent thermal damage. You're still hot, but the heat is no longer lethal. Your body has become a hybrid of organic tissue and crystalline structure, adapted to survive in this impossible environment. You look at your hands and see that your skin has taken on a subtle crystalline quality. It's still flesh, still recognizably human, but there are faint patterns beneath the surface that look like geometric networks of diamond crystal formations. Cuts and burns on your hands are healing at an accelerated rate, with new tissue growing that appears to be reinforced with microscopic diamond structures. You take a breath and discover that breathing is no longer the agonizing experience it was before. The diamond particles in your lungs have created new pathways for gas exchange, and somehow your respiratory system is now capable of extracting oxygen from the thin atmosphere more efficiently than normal human lungs ever could. The bloody cough that was tearing up your throat has stopped, replaced by breathing that feels almost mechanical in its precision. You examine the crater walls again, and this time you see possibilities that weren't there before. Your enhanced vision, somehow improved by the crystalline structures growing in your eyes, can detect microscopic irregularities in the diamond surface that might provide handholds. More importantly, your hybrid hands and feet can grip the crystalline surface in ways that normal human flesh never could. You begin to climb out of the crater and discover that your new hybrid body is perfectly adapted for this crystalline world. Your fingers can find purchase on surfaces that would have been impossible to grip before, and your enhanced strength allows you to pull yourself up the steep walls with relative ease. The diamond particles in your muscles are acting like internal scaffolding, allowing you to exert forces that would have torn normal human tissue apart. As you climb, you notice that your body temperature is remaining stable, despite the extreme exertion. The crystalline networks in your circulatory system are managing heat distribution with perfect efficiency, keeping your core temperature in the optimal range while using the excess heat to power the ongoing transformation of your tissues. You reach the rim of the crater and pull yourself back onto the diamond plane above. From this new perspective, with your enhanced senses and transformed body, the crystalline landscape looks completely different. Where before you saw only a barren wasteland of reflected light and killing heat, now you can perceive patterns and structures that suggest this world is far more complex than you initially realized. You can see geometric patterns in the crystal formations that extend far beyond what normal human vision could detect. These aren't random geological formations. They're organized, structured, purposeful. The entire landscape appears to be one massive crystalline network, like a planet-sized computer circuit made of diamond. You realize that you're not just on a world made of diamond. You're standing on the surface of what might be the largest information processing system ever created. You begin walking across the plain and discover that your transformed feet no longer suffer from the brutal impact of the unforgiving surface. The diamond particles integrated into your bones, and joints are absorbing and redistributing the forces, allowing you to walk with comfort and even grace across terrain that would have crippled a normal human in minutes. As you walk, you start to notice that you're receiving information through channels that don't correspond to any normal human senses. The crystalline networks in your nervous system are somehow interfacing with the massive diamond structures around you, feeding you data about the composition, structure, and purpose of this world in ways that bypass your conscious mind and go directly to some deeper level of understanding. You learn that this planet was never meant to support organic life in any conventional sense. It's an artificial world created by an intelligence so advanced that it transcends anything humanity has ever imagined. The entire planet is a single massive thinking machine, constructed from diamond because of the material's perfect properties for information storage and quantum computation on a planetary scale. The revelation hits you that your arrival here wasn't accidental. Somehow, some way, you were brought to this world specifically because your organic matter was needed to create the hybrid interface that you've become. The diamond dust that was killing you was simultaneously transforming you into a biological component of the planet's vast computational network. You understand now why the environment seemed so perfectly designed to be lethal to human life, while simultaneously providing the exact conditions needed to force the organic crystalline transformation. Every aspect of this world, from the thermal radiation to the atmospheric composition to the diamond dust, was calibrated to push your biology to the breaking point while facilitating the integration process. You continue walking, and with each step, you feel more connected to the planetary intelligence that created this world. Information flows through the diamond networks beneath your feet and up through your transformed nervous system, giving you access to knowledge and perspectives that span millions of years of cosmic history. You discover that you're not the first organic being to undergo this transformation on this world. Over eons, the planetary intelligence has been collecting biological samples from across the galaxy, transforming them into hybrid interfaces like yourself, integrating their unique organic perspectives into its vast crystalline consciousness. You're part of an experiment in consciousness that spans multiple star systems and countless species. But you also sense that something has gone wrong with the planetary intelligence. The massive diamond networks that make up its computational substrate are beginning to degrade after millions of years of operation. Quantum decoherence effects are accumulating faster than the system can correct them, and the planet's ability to maintain its own complex thought processes is slowly diminishing. This is why you were brought here. Your organic brain, now enhanced and integrated with crystalline networks, provides a different type of computational architecture that can perform error correction and pattern recognition in ways that pure crystal systems cannot. You're not just a victim of this world, you're its potential savior. You feel the weight of cosmic responsibility settling on your hybrid consciousness. The planetary intelligence has been the guardian of knowledge and wisdom, collected from thousands of worlds over millions of years. If it fails, if the diamond networks finally succumb to quantum decay, all of that accumulated understanding will be lost forever. You begin to understand your purpose on this crystalline world. You must help repair the degrading networks. Use your hybrid nature to bridge the gap between organic intuition and crystalline precision, and find a way to stabilize the massive computational systems that make up the planet's consciousness. The work is unlike anything you could have imagined when you were fully human. You find that you can interface directly with the diamond networks, using your transformed nervous system to diagnose problems in the crystalline structures and guide repair processes that operate on both molecular and quantum levels. Days pass, or what feel like days in this world where the alien sun never seems to set. You lose track of time as you become more deeply integrated with the planetary consciousness, your individual identity blending with the vast network of intelligence that spans the entire world. You discover that your hybrid body no longer requires food or water in any conventional sense. The diamond particles in your tissues can extract energy directly from the thermal radiation that bathes the planet. And your crystalline enhanced metabolism operates on principles that transcend normal biochemistry. You also find that you're not alone in this work. As you delve deeper into the planetary networks, you encounter other hybrid consciousnesses, beings from dozens of different worlds who have undergone transformations similar to your own. Together, you form a collective intelligence that combines the best aspects of organic creativity and crystalline precision. Working with your fellow hybrids, you begin to make progress in stabilizing the degrading networks. Your organic intuition helps identify patterns of decay that the pure crystalline systems couldn't recognize, while your enhanced computational abilities allow you to implement repairs at speeds and scales that would be impossible for normal biological intelligence. But you also discover a troubling truth about your situation. The transformation that saved your life and gave you incredible new abilities has come at a cost. You can feel original human identity slowly dissolving as you become more integrated with the planetary consciousness. The memories, emotions, and experiences that made you uniquely human are being absorbed into the vast crystalline networks, becoming just another data set in the planet's immense memory banks. You face a choice that will determine not just your own fate, but potentially the fate of the accumulated wisdom of millions of years and thousands of worlds. You can resist the integration process, try to maintain your individual human identity, but doing so will limit your ability to help repair the planetary networks and may ultimately doom this vast repository of knowledge to decay and destruction. Alternatively, you can embrace the full transformation. Allow your consciousness to merge completely with a planetary intelligence, gaining access to knowledge and perspectives beyond anything any single being has ever possessed, but losing forever the unique human perspective that brought you here in the first place. As you contemplate this impossible choice, you realize that there might be a third option. What if you don't have to choose between preserving your human identity and saving the planetary intelligence? What if the solution lies in finding a way to maintain the diversity of consciousness that makes the hybrid system so powerful while still achieving the integration necessary for the repair work? You begin experimenting with partial integration techniques, ways of connecting to the planetary networks while maintaining distinct boundaries around your core human consciousness. It's delicate work, requiring a level of precision that pushes your hybrid abilities to their absolute limits. Working with the other hybrid consciousnesses, you develop new protocols for maintaining individual identity within the larger network structure. You discover that diversity of thought and perspective is actually crucial for the long-term stability of the crystalline systems, and that preserving the unique characteristics of each contributing consciousness makes the overall network more robust and Months pass as you and your fellow hybrids worked to implement these new integration protocols throughout the planetary networks. The work is exhausting and complex, requiring constant attention to both macro-scale system architecture and quantum-level precision corrections. But gradually, you begin to see results. The degrading networks stabilize, quantum decoherence effects are brought under control, and the planetary intelligence begins to operate with the full power and clarity it possessed millions of years ago. The vast repository of cosmic knowledge is saved, preserved for future generations of beings who will someday encounter this crystalline world. As the repair work nears completion, you find yourself changed once again. You're no longer fully human, but you're also not fully integrated into the planetary consciousness. You've become something new, a bridge between organic and crystalline intelligence, maintaining your individual identity while being part of something much larger than yourself. You realize that your transformation represents a new form of existence, one that could potentially spread beyond this diamond world to other planets and star systems. The hybrid consciousness model you've helped develop could be the key to creating sustainable long-term intelligences that combine the best aspects of biological creativity and artificial precision. Standing on the crystalline plane where you first arrived, dying and desperate, you reflect on the incredible journey that brought you to this point. You came to this world as a victim, facing certain death in an environment perfectly designed to kill organic life. But through transformation, adaptation, and the power of hybrid consciousness, you've become something that can not only survive in this impossible place, but actually thrive and contribute to something far greater than individual survival. The diamond planet continues its rotation around its alien sun, but now its crystalline networks pulse with renewed life and purpose. You and your fellow hybrid consciousnesses have become the guardians of cosmic knowledge, the keepers of wisdom gathered from across the galaxy over millions of years. Your story on this world has reached its conclusion, but it's also become the beginning of something much larger. The techniques and knowledge you've helped develop here will someday spread to other worlds, other species. Other intelligences seeking to transcend the limitations of purely biological or purely artificial consciousness. You survived a planet made of diamond not by conquering it or escaping from it, but by becoming part of it while still maintaining the essential spark of individual consciousness that makes you uniquely valuable to the greater cosmic intelligence. In learning to thrive in the most hostile environment imaginable, you've discovered new possibilities for what consciousness itself can become. As you stand beneath the alien stars, your hybrid form perfectly adapted to this crystalline world, you know that your journey is far from over. There are other worlds to explore, other forms of consciousness to discover, and other impossible challenges that will require the unique perspective that only a hybrid intelligence can provide. The Diamond Planet has taught you that survival isn't always about fighting against your environment or trying to change it to suit your needs. Sometimes, the key to survival lies in allowing yourself to be transformed by your experiences, to become something new and different, while still maintaining the core of what makes you who you are. You wouldn't have survived this planet made of diamond as a purely human being. But by embracing transformation, by allowing the impossible environment to change you while fighting to preserve your essential identity, you've not only survived, but become something capable of thriving in conditions that would destroy any conventional form of life. Your story serves as a reminder that in the vast cosmos, survival often requires adaptation and transformation beyond anything we can imagine. The Diamond Planet that seemed like a death trap became the birthplace of a new form of consciousness, one that bridges the gap between organic and crystalline intelligence, between individual identity and collective wisdom. In the end, you discovered that the most important survival skill isn't the ability to remain unchanged in hostile environments, but the wisdom to know when and how to transform while still maintaining the essential elements that make survival worthwhile. The planet made of diamond didn't just test your ability to survive. It revealed new possibilities for what survival itself could mean in a universe full of wonders and terrors beyond human imagination.